We're going to go over how to lead your practice during challenging times, especially that we're all kind of still living day by day, minute by minute, each state by state. I don't know, the whole world. We don't know what's going on. We're just trying to do our best right now. So, Anissa, take it away.
Good stuff. So thank you so much for having me. It is really an honor, and I love, honestly, what you guys are doing at Ultradent to be able to help the industry. So super excited to be there. Really interesting times that we are in, and hopefully I can shed some light into what's kind of been happening and what we've been doing at Delivering Well to be able to lead practices through this time. And hopefully it's helpful. So very interestingly, on Monday, as things started to unfold, I started to think, okay, the first thing we need to do is make sure that we're able to communicate with patients, right? And so what we've been doing actually this week with Delivering Well is really bringing on experts and having those conversations. And so Monday, we actually had Michael Anderson from Wondrous Agency. He actually has a virtual consult platform. And what he actually offered was an opportunity for dental practices to actually be able to get free service to be able to offer virtual consults to their people in their community. And so if you've not had a chance to look at that live stream on our Delivering Well page, it's super helpful. We also spoke a lot about reputation, and I'm going to actually be talking about what you can do during this time. So I'm really excited to talk about that because there are some opportunities. But the next day, what we went into was reputation. And the things that we do right now for our teams and what we do right now for our community will say a lot about what happens after we get through this season. And really interestingly, I was in a Facebook group this morning with one of my mentors, and he's like, you know what, there's always a season, right? There's a planting season, and like there's a season that like all of these different seasons, right? And he said, like, yeah, so like right now he's like, we're in winter, like in winter people stay put, right? But after winter, like there's spring. And so what we do right now really determines what happens in the future. And we spoke about reputation. And so Lynn Tao was on, and we're talking about that. And like right now is the time, honestly, to be able to be a source of information and leading in our community. And over the last few days, we've also spoken about mental health and how do we get through that. And last night we had an amazing session actually talking about some HR issues. And if you've not had a chance, I think we've had 8,000 views on that already. And we're talking about strategically what your plan can be with your team. And I'll just share that because I think of all of the things that we've covered this week, this is probably the most useful information. Definitely. Because we're still going through that right now. Like you have practice owners who are like, I love my team. Like my team is everything. And they're wanting to make sure their teams are okay. And so essentially what came out of that, like we're literally strategizing on the Facebook Live, was, you know what, love on your team. And if you have the ability right now to give them the full amount that you were planning to give them, go ahead and do that. But what he said was to start thinking about unemployment and doing it in a way that would be somewhat of a hybrid. And what that would mean is that the teams would be able to get the unemployment, but you would still actually hire them for fewer hours. And so instead of people working a full-time amount, they would work maybe 10 hours a week. And during that time, you can be working on systems and processes in the practice. And they would obviously have to report that income, but it would be more income than if they just got unemployment. And by actually using this strategy and system, we were actually brainstorming through it. What would happen is it would allow you to be able to extend out your cash flow versus just trying to pay everything out of pocket, right? Week after week. And this is the thing, guys, like it's really interesting. I have actually been through a few cycles of different viruses, obviously not to this extent. But here where I live, we have experienced some other viruses like chikungunya virus and like other things that have actually closed our practices. And our government here, what they did, and I think this is really insightful, and what the government said was from the very beginning, we're just going to go ahead and close everything because we know every virus actually has a cycle. And so if we just all stay put in our house for 14 days, then anybody who's sick, right? Like I'm at home right now, and you will have your fever, you will get over it, you'll be fine. But what it will do is it will not overstress the hospitals, and we can actually get through the cycle a lot faster. And so all of the businesses, that announcement was made, and as of Friday, the schools started closing, and as of this week, Monday, everyone is essentially just staying home. And so because we're not afraid, you know, everybody's just listening. And so I think that's very important right now to follow what is happening. But I'll say this, right now is a huge opportunity to actually work on your business, right? So many times we have situations where we're busy and we're going and we're going and we're going. And we're like, I wish I had time to actually work on my marketing plan, or I wish I had time to work on, you know, building out systems and processes. And what do we do to make sure that our AR is low and that we're not having broken appointments? Like, what about verbal skills? What about our marketing plan? You know, I've had practices before in our programs where we help them. We say, well, let's create a dental assistant manual, a training manual. Wow. So when you order a new dental assistant, now it will have like everything that they must do daily, weekly, and monthly, like supplies and like what do you do in your checklist, and like people are always so busy. The teams are like, when are we going to have time to do that?
Well, yeah, definitely. You don't have to during the day.
No, now is the perfect time. And this is the thing, like if practice owners are utilizing this strategy that we spoke about last night when I was talking to Paul from Cedar, it's like you have an opportunity to work on your business. Again, there's some legislation right now, which is why he made some recommendations. Right now, the legislation hopefully will change. ADA is really lobbying for this. But right now, after April 2nd, what will happen is that if people are confined to be in their homes and some other little restrictions, then as an employer, you will be required to pay at least 2 weeks sick pay. So what he's saying is that, and if you haven't watched that video, you want to go back to the Delivering Well page and watch the whole live. It was super informative. We've already had in like less than 12 hours, 8,000 views on that. But that's the thing. And so if you're going to have your team members where you're giving them the extra to love on your team, take advantage of that opportunity. And so like, I'm excited, honestly, about how the teams can help work together. Now, how are we going to do that, right? That's better said than done. So I'll share some things that you can do. Many of you guys know, like Delivering Well, we're all about online. So we actually do our coaching online. We have Zoom where we're on and we're training teams virtually every single week. We do about 40 hours of training a month virtually. So I'm going to share some things that you guys can do if you're trying to figure out like, how am I going to get together with my team and like, what am I going to do? And so a great application for you to use is actually Zoom. And so a lot of people right now are communicating through Zoom. A lot of schools are using Zoom. My kids are using Zoom for online classes. This is a great tool that you can use to actually be able to get together with your team. And so what does that look like, right? What that looks like is every day saying, okay, let's go ahead and work on a piece of the business, right? So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna first do a check-in, right? And so one of the things that we use or we teach in our program, and I'll share it with you, is called level 10 meetings. And so how that works is you have a meeting, and the first thing you do is share your personal and your professional best, right? And I think this is really great. So you come on, you're like, all right, my personal best is that even though all of this is going on, like I got to watch a movie with my kids last night, and I never ever have an opportunity to do that because I'm always just going and going and going. My professional best is yesterday, I was able to work on a marketing plan, and I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance, and so I'm really proud. So everybody can share that, right, through Zoom. Everybody's doing virtual, like kind of how we're doing right now. Exactly. And then from there, you can go in. Yes, from there you can go in, and you can say, okay, obviously goal setting is going to be a little hard right now, so we have to kind of go through that. But what are the things we want to work on? So we need to look at our AR. We want to strategize on, once we open back again, how are we going to increase our doctor production per visit? We want to make sure that we have a system in place so that our hygiene reappointment rate is 97%. So in the past, we've had this percentage. What can we do? What system can we put in place? What verbal skills can we put in place? Like all of the things that you've been working on, right? And then you say, who's going to own this? Let's work together on this. And so every single day you can come together and you can actually have meetings and you can do all of those things that we have been wanting to do. And so like for me right now, how are you going to lead your practice? It's number one, being a really strong leader for your team, letting them know that you have them, because this is the thing. Like I've seen some practice owners in some of the groups, like, oh my gosh, I have to let my team go. I'm going to tell them that after April 2nd, like they're going to force me to pay you unemployment, or force me to pay you 2 weeks salary. Like we don't want to be using those words with our team. Yeah. Like what we need to say is like, we want to take care of you like your family. And so what we want to do is try to make sure we can support you as much as we can during these times. And so a system and strategy that other practices are using is that they're doing this sort of hybrid approach to make it best for all involved, for the business, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to come back and we're going to need funds to be able to continue so we can get back to normal, right? And so here's a way we can do it. We're going to unfortunately have to have people do unemployment. We're going to be able to put in lower hours, so we'll be able to work on the business, and that will give you the supplement. We're not doing what other business or owners are doing, that is just saying, here, just take unemployment. We want to give you more, and that allows us to stretch out our cash flow. Like when you have conversations with your team like that, they get it and they know it. And I can tell you, the practice owners that take this approach with their teams and they work through and they build processes and systems, like a lot of times disaster, it brings people together. And like, I'm actually empowered to see what's going to happen with practices in their teams after this, because I see teams getting stronger, and I see doctors being more able to have more real vulnerable conversations with their teams through this. Yeah. And really looking at why we need to get to profits, because this is the thing, like if you're focusing on profits, right? So a lot of times it's production and collection, but then you have overhead. Now teams are going to get it. They're going to understand profit doesn't mean doctors pay. Profit means making sure that we have funds so that when the next thing hits, whether it's a tornado or a hurricane or whatever, like we're okay, right? And so it's going to be really interesting to see the dynamic of how business goes forward. But through these times, I'm going to recommend, many of you guys know I'm huge into marketing and social media and all that stuff. And honestly, right now is the time to continue to market your practice. Now, how are you going to do that, right? You are not going to right now be running Facebook ads saying, come in for free.
Tomorrow.
Free whitening consultation. Like, we're not doing that right now, okay? Right. Right now, what you want to do is you want to get out and you want to be the provider of information. And so like, if I can challenge you like every other day or, once a week, at least at a minimum, come on and do a Facebook Live and say, everybody is at home right now, and I wanted to come on as a healthcare provider and give you information that's going out there that is real information that can help you. And I'll just tell you what we're doing right now. We're still working as a practice. We're working on our systems. We're working on growing stronger as a team so that when we get back to normal, we're going to be ready for you. Tell us, what are you working on? What are you doing with your families? Comment below and tell us like what are you doing? What is it that you're grateful for? Like coming on and doing Facebook Lives like this people are not going to forget, right? And so that's what I'm going to recommend that you do, those sort of posts. Interestingly, Candy Cole, who's actually been through a lot of our programs, she did a live the other day. It's now going viral. But it actually, she went in there, she's like, all right, guys, before this, we were doing a 30-day floss challenge. Well, guess what? We're going to keep doing it because guess what? You're at home, so you have a lot of time to floss your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. You're actually trapped, so there really is no excuses for people not to floss right now. So if you didn't floss today, go grab it right now while you're watching this live.
Absolutely. So, this is the thing, like, we're in interesting times. It's going to be a little bit hard for everybody, but, what we have to do right now is we have to think positive. We have to love on our teams so much so that once we get through this, they're like, Doc, I am here for you. I am grateful, and I'm going to work with you, because this is the thing. Like, if you treat your team that right now, when the doors open, you're going to need a team. Okay. And one of the things that people come to me so much for coaching, they're like, I need to know how to hire a team. I need to know how to inspire a team. Well, if you don't treat people well right now, they're not going to be there for you, and it's going to be a lot harder. And so I would say stay encouraged. There are times when practices are closed for a little time, where you're on vacation or all of these sort of things, and there's no revenue, and you come back, and it's going to happen this way again, guys. Like, I'm from New Orleans originally. My family, we went through Hurricane Katrina. My family most of them lost everything. And, if you look at it like that, those dentists down in Louisiana and South Mississippi, they lost everything. And guess what? Our practices are still going to be there. So there's always something that we can be grateful for, right? It could certainly be a lot worse. There's going to be some lost revenue, but fortunately you have, I'm hearing student loans are going to be deferred. People's payments are going to be deferred for their practice loans and things like that. So we will get through this together. Everybody's going through it. And so I'm super excited for that. So I see somebody says, completely agree. If you weren't here for your team now, how can you truly be a team? And honestly, this is really all about leadership. Absolutely. So a few things just to kind of share. A lot of people are coming together to be able to help our community, our colleagues. And so just a few that I know about, I'll just share them as resources. Again, myvirtualconsult.com. They are doing free virtual consultations for you to be able to communicate through virtual consults to find out if people do need to come in. If you're using the code Fight COVID-19, it is completely free for you to go ahead and get that service. They're creating that for, I think, at least a month or so. Call Force, I just had a live call with Corey with Call Force. They're offering free answering service. So if you need someone to help answer, and I mean, honestly, guys, this is a lot. Like Corey, he's got his team. Like when we got off the live, he's like, I'm gonna, obviously he's got all of these people to pay, right, on his team. And if they're gonna be answering calls, like they're gonna be working and the money has to come from somewhere. But he's just like, I'm just going on faith, and I'm gonna try to take care of my team. And if we all just give a little bit, like we can help. Obviously his company needs to survive after this to be able to help our industry, but he's doing his part, which, I'm super grateful for. Delivering Well as well. We have made a decision. So Delivering Well, we're known for helping practice owners honestly be able to get to time and financial freedom. And how we do that is we help doctors with leadership. We train office managers to be COOs so that they can run the business and help the doctor. And we also train teams on case acceptance, on marketing, on preventing broken appointments, on like all aspects of the practice. And so we actually have our coaching program where we do live calls and coaching and consulting. And then we also have an online portal where practices can get in and they can get access to training again to be able to create their KPI calendars, to be able to create their marketing plan, to go in there and to be able to get templates to build out their office manuals. So what we're going to actually be doing is we are typically for our gold level, which is our training portal, we typically have a 2-week trial. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're actually going to be offering it and extending that out. So there won't be a credit card or anything needed, but we're actually going to be giving free access to anyone because if you are going to be working with your team and they're going to be working remote, you're going to need training so that they can get in there. And so what we want to help you with over the next few weeks is actually having you to be able to create your KPI calendars. So that means what is everybody doing daily, weekly, and monthly in the practice, like taking time to write that down, being able to create marketing plans so that you have that in place, being able to understand and learn more about case acceptance. So all of that is going to be included. Actually, we're giving you access to the whole portal there. So that is, if you go to Delivering Well, or if you go to deliveringwellplatinum.com, you'll see an option there. And the same code, I'm just going to use the same code, which is Fight COVID-19. And so that's where you can get access to that as well. And we're also going to be doing as well with Delivering Well a Facebook Live Summit starting on Monday. And that's going to be running actually for 3 weeks. And that's going to be happening on our Facebook page. And we're also going to be giving CE. And so you'll be hearing from people like Lynn Towell, Online Reviews, Sandy Pardue is going to be on there, as well as you'll hear from Josh Scott. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be streaming all of our presentations from our Delivering Well Summit. And so we're going to actually stream it, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it through Facebook Live, and we will be offering free CE, so there's no registration. You just go to the page, and that's going to be happening starting on Monday, and that's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So we're doing our part. That's all we can do. Everybody gives a little bit. We can actually come out stronger, and that's my goal, to be able to help practices. Like if you work on your processes and systems right now and see this as a gift of time to work on your business, like I'm challenging all of the doctors in our program, honestly. Like, I'm like, I get it. Like, we might be closed for a month. It might be 2 months, right? I get that. I get that. But I'm a big visionary, and I'm really big into goal setting. And what I say is, let us go ahead and put in a processes and systems, right? Actually, if you guys are getting in there, you'll be able to learn about whiteboards, how to set goals with whiteboards. You're going to learn how to use scorecards to be able to set goals and look at doctor production per visit, hygiene, like all of this training you're going to get in there. So if you can understand and put these things in place, when your practice is back and it's spring, like I'm challenging all of my owners to say, we are going to have the best year ever despite.
You should. After that, we've
right?
together as a team. Your team is now trusting you because you didn't just leave them in the dust. You said, "Hey, let's work on this together. Let's be a literal team." It's perfect.
Awesome. So thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing. You guys are doing some really awesome stuff, and I'm very grateful to Ultradent. You guys totally surprised and shocked me when I was at my event and hearing you guys, or like the video came on and Melanie's on, giving me the announcement with the icons. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And I told her, actually, after she sent the video, that I was selected as one of the icons, women icons of dentistry. I met with her and I was like, you have a minute? And I jumped on a call with her. And so I'm going to tell you a really quick story. I said, right out of dental school, I've been a practicing dentist for 20 years. And so right out of dental school, I actually had an invitation. I think I was open. I didn't have my practice yet. It might have been like 6 months. I actually received an invitation when I was a dental student I was actually national president of the SNDA. And so what came out of that was actually an invitation to go to like a new dentist conference. And so 20 years ago, I actually came to Ultradent, and I was able to spend time and do a tour of the facility and do some great workshops, and also was able to have dinner over at Dr. Fisher's house. And so, so this is like a full cycle coming back around like 20 years later. And so I'm super excited to be coming back, because by June we're going to be hopefully on. We'll see.
It's in July, so we have like
July. That's in July. Yeah, we'll be back by July. So
exactly.
I look forward to seeing you guys all in July at the event. Again, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then for those of you who are watching and you might not know, we do have an event coming called Icons of Dentistry. It is in July, and Miss Anissa Holmes is one of our 500 Icons of Dentistry. Think about the amazing things that she's doing for our community, especially right now when we're in these kind of rough, weird waves of riding the sound. Yesterday they say one thing, today they say another, and you're still holding your head above water and just helping all of us be positive and giving guidance. So thank you so much for this.
I really appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, and if there's any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll watch them, and then we'll definitely be posting your webinar that you're going to be having or your Facebook Live for next week. So if you do want to participate in those, which I suggest that you do, because everybody's at home, really nothing else to do, check the comments below, and we'll have those in there. Okay? Thanks, everyone.